All right, next up, Ellen Kenner, a clinical psychologist in private practice, a host of the nationally syndicated radio talk show, host of The Rational Basis of Happiness. She's going to read a piece from Ayn Rand because she's had enough.
Yes!
I'm one of the people that can say, Ayn Rand changed my life. I went to Brown University and then I read Atlas Shrugged. And I can tell you that I would trade my degree at Brown University for Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. I think it's wonderful. I have a show, The Rational Basis of Happiness, and that means your happiness. Think of all of your personal values and how proud you are when you achieve them rationally. You don't get handouts from the government, but you use your thinking to achieve your personal dreams, and you want your children to be able to do that too, not to be taxed away, not for everything that you've earned to be taxed away. So this is a statement from the Ayn Rand Center for Individual Rights in Washington, D.C. Today, April 15th, thousands of Americans will gather for modern-day tea parties, proudly named after the Boston Tea Party of 1773. Like our revolutionary ancestors, we are protesting against growing government power, a government that increasingly oppresses its citizens instead of protecting them. But what are we fighting for? Have we earned the right to call our protests by the same name the founding fathers used? They understood exactly what they were fighting for. When those Bostonians boarded the cargo ship Dartmouth and hurled chests of tea into the ocean, they were not just mad about high taxes.
I was brought up in Massachusetts.
In fact, the Tea Party that inspired the protest had actually lowered the tea tax on the colonies. No, the colonists were driven by a certain view of the proper purpose of government, which the Tea Act repudiated. That view, which would reach its full expression in the Declaration of Independence, was that the role of the government is to protect individual rights, to protect the sovereign individual's right to life, to liberty, to property, and to the pursuit of your happiness. But over the past 2 centuries, the ideal of individual rights has all but disappeared from public discourse. In its absence has emerged today's massive regulatory welfare state, which taxes away nearly half our income, tells us what medicines we can take, what kinds of light bulbs to buy, and is rapidly consolidating control over America's banks, insurance companies, and industrial giants like General Motors. What happened? Why did we abandon the American ideal? Above all, because the ideal lacked a moral defense. To uphold the individual's right to pursue his own happiness, we must recognize the individual's moral right to pursue his own happiness, your happiness. But just try and say such a thing, and the voices will come from all sides. That's selfish. It's selfish to plan for your own retirement. What about those who aren't responsible enough to save? It's selfish to oppose bailouts for struggling home buyers. Why should they have to move? It's selfish to earn and keep a lot of your own money for yourself. But what about those struggling to make ends meet? And it's true. The pursuit of happiness is selfish. Rationally selfish, rationally self-valuing, self-esteem. This is your life. That is why you need the individual freedom of a capitalist system to pursue your interests, to act on your judgment, to make your own life the best it can be. That's why you want to crusade for individual rights, not just against the latest Washington power grab. To mount such a crusade requires more than protest slogans and picket signs, although those, I agree, are wonderful to see. You must resolve to morally defend the individual's right to live for his own sake, not as a servant of society. That's really good to hear, too. So as long as you are willing to concede that self-interest and the profit motive are immoral, and that self-sacrifice, that means sacrificing your time, your energy, your money, your goals, your dreams, your kids, that self-sacrifice for the common good, which means everyone but you, is a moral ideal. As long as you are willing to concede that the self-interest and the profit motive are immoral, you will continue to see freedom diminish and prosperity decline. In my judgment, the only philosopher to provide such a moral defense of capitalism is Ayn Rand, the author of Atlas Shrugged and Capitalism, the Unknown Ideal, and the virtue of selfishness, which is very different from what you think selfishness is. So I will close with her words. Quote, "The world crisis of today is a moral crisis, and nothing less than a moral revolution can resolve it. A moral revolution to sanction and complete the political achievement of the American Revolution. You must fight for capitalism, not as a practical issue, not as an economic issue, but with the most righteous pride as a moral issue. That is what capitalism deserves, and nothing less will save it." Unquote. Thank you.